what's the difference between a boy and a man? A lot of people would say, well, it's age. No, because I've seen a lot of 50-year-old boys. So there is a big difference between what a boy is and what a man is. And we're going to be discussing that this week on episode number 175 of The Relaxed Male. This is The Relaxed Male, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relaxed Male. I am your host, Brian. I am a certified men's coach, and I help men to actually find their purpose, find their why, get themselves out of the mire that they are in that keeps them playing small so that they can actually start living their life to the fullest. And one of the biggest things that happens with men is that they approach life as if they are still a boy. And we're going to be tackling that thought this week on The Relaxed Male. But before we actually jump in there, I wanted to say again, guys, thank y'all so very much. We are still growing. We're still going up and to the right, as I always do. And it's just really cool to go out and actually see who's doing what, when, where. And wanted to just do a little bit of a shout out to a lot of the folks who are actually listening, because my top four markets that are actually listening to the show are those guys in Los Angeles. LA, man, y'all are doing a wonderful job of bringing in Relaxed Male, which I understand. Hey, guys, there's a lot of folks who are just pounding the crap out of masculinity, out of men, and men in the LA area, they're struggling like no one's business, trying to make sure that they that they have a life, and all they have is everybody else, all the Looney Toonies really just pounding on them. And so, yeah, there's a lot of guys who are realizing that their life is empty. Their life, thinking that they were doing what was supposed to do. They were listening to everybody that they were listening to. And all of a sudden they're realizing, oh, dude, nothing is working for what I'm wanting to do. And so we get a lot of guys from the LA area who are listening. All together in California, we have 120 downloads from the last time. The DFW area, great. Also, New York. I mean, come on, New York City is even getting into the action. So people are starting to turn. People are starting to wake up and understand that, masculinity is actually a wonderful thing, and it's actually a needed thing in today's world. And even the DC area is picking it up, which is fascinating to me, because those are all, Denver, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Charlotte, North Carolina, even Oklahoma City, which is, I think, about the only really conservative city that there is. I know we had DFW in there, and there's a lot of conservatives in the DFW area, but it's sadly a lot of folks from California have moved out of California because of the taxes and all that, and moved to Dallas, and was wondering, and they're now realizing, oh, wait a minute, my means of action is not working. And so we have Boston and more, and it's just it's a fascinating view of society. I mean, I even had one little listener over in Alaska, which is amazing. I finally got Alaska in there, and we've got one in Hawaii. So I've almost got all 50 states. For whatever reason, I cannot get North Dakota. North Dakota and what was the other one? Let me see here. North Dakota and Idaho, for some reason, just can you never seem to get anybody from those two states to listen. But I've got everybody else. I've got almost all 50 states marked off now. But anyhow, just wanted to say that, guys. Just say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all y'all that are listening and then turning around and sharing it out with everybody. That is the just most phenomenal thing. Just that our show is growing. Our movement is starting to pick up a bit of steam, and it's great. And so, guys, you guys who are listening, thank you. Y'all are just knocking it out of the park. You're just batting 1,000. So with that, let's go ahead and let's jump into the main topic. And that topic is, what's the difference between a boy and a man? This is episode number 175. And I've talked about men and boys before. I wrote a couple of blog posts. One talked about the habits of a grown man and one about the habits of a grown boy. But I've not ever really talked about it on the podcast. And I wanted to go ahead and share that because, there's guys in California and New York and New Hampshire and places like that are busy and they listen to podcasts. And so wanted to kind of share what the difference was and why grown boys are the ones who are actually suffering the most, and rightfully so. So there's two things to really compare. You got your boys. Boys are, by definition, they are consumers. They do not produce. They do not contribute to a household. They do not contribute to whatever it is, whatever group they're in. They are inherently, just by the very nature, consumers. They consume the resources around them without actually contributing back. These are the squatters. If you're a business person, I've talked about, there are the three types of employees. There's the squatters, the renters, and the owners. Boys are squatters and renters. Renters contribute a little bit, but not a whole heap and a lot. Squatters don't contribute anything and expect everything in return. Boys are also very inactive. They don't do things. They just kind of sit around. They may sit there and play video games all the time. They're not producing anything. But they also, when something hits the fan, they are instantly going to jump over into a victim. They're going to play the blame game. They're going to point fingers. It's somebody else's fault. It's not my fault. It's there. I couldn't help it, blah, 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 blah. And so they always pass the blame. So those are the four main things that are a part of a boy. They're consumers. They're inactive. They're victims, and they pass the blame. Men essentially are the exact opposite. Men are action takers. They're producers. They take responsibility for their actions. They also are very active. That is what defines a man, is somebody who actually will say something, then they go and they take action. It may not work right, but they're going to take action. They're going to do something. And once they get done, they're going to learn from what that action was. And that's one reason why men are actually leaders. Boys, they sit back and they are complain and groan about who the leader is and, I could do a better job. Well, no, if you could do a better job, you would have been that actual leader. So boys and men are vastly different. And boys, sadly, are the ones who are actually facing all the divorces, because nice guys are boys in as another form. Because boys can be nice guys, and not all nice guys are boys, but not all boys are nice guys. Some boys are very much jerks. They are there to just take, while nice guys, they do take, but they don't. But what nice guys are actually taking is not the same thing as what just grown boys take. Because nice guys, yes, they take a part of a person. They're very much takers also. They always want to make sure that they're deflecting. But at the same time, nice guys, they do a lot of sacrificing of themselves to get what they want out of another person. They take the nice, they take the adoration, they take the pleasing sensations. They use a person to feel good about themselves. While grown men, they're going to take it or leave it. If you're doing something that they don't like, they're not going to sit there and try to get you to like them. If you don't like them, okay, all right, well, whatever, dude. I don't like me. I've got other things to do. They're too busy. Men are too busy to actually sit down and fret about what's going on. They're going to sit down and they're going to find a solution to whatever the actual problem in their life actually is. And it's not that, the neighbor down the street doesn't like them and is complaining about them. Now, if the neighbor down the street is causing a problem for his family, he's going to step in. He's going to take action on that problem. But if it's just somebody who's just just the neighborhood gossip, okay, they're going to deal with it. They're going to build a bridge. They're going to move on and not worry about it. So boys are always the lacquer. They're the guys who are willing to just be at home, sit down, play the video games, get drunk all the time. Their boys are always more concerned with what they feel. They're going to numb themselves from the unpleasantness of the world. All right. The wife yelled at them. Oh, they're going to do something to sabotage the relationship. That way it makes them feel better because they can get people to actually feel sorry for them. Feel sorry for them means that, hey, I'm the victim. The victim, I have no reason to face my responsibilities because hey, I'm the victim. I'm on a level that doesn't have to take responsibility, or at least they see that in their eyes. When in all reality, men, they did something wrong. They're going to take the responsibility for it, and they're going to own their dirt, which actually gives them the ability to be a better leader. Boys just don't. That's the best way to put it. Is they don't. They just sit there and want to consume the energy of those around them. They want to consume the credit for other people's hard work. Boys are the ones who, when they take out the trash, they're standing by their wife going, hey, I took the trash out. Aren't you going to pat me on the top of the head and say, good boy? These boys, grown boys, are what all the feminists are actually complaining about. They think that it's all men in general, but in all reality, that's not. And when it comes to a woman going through a divorce and why she actually left a guy for somebody else, 90% of the time, that boy that she left is because they are a quote unquote boy. They're not taking care of business. They're not protecting the family, not providing for the family, not protecting it, and they're not leading. And those are things that men do. They protect their family. They invest. They make sure that men work on their 4 pillars of a relaxed male. They work on making sure that they're in shape, that they're staying educated, that they're following their passion. They have something, they have a calling, and they know what that calling is. And it may just be that their calling is to find their calling. And they learn from what they're doing. They learn and pick up a little bit more. What is my calling? What do I need to be doing? What's my purpose? And they follow that, and they learn from it, and they grow from it. And to have a purpose feeds your soul. And when your soul is fed, you are in a better world. You're in a lot better shape than a boy who is just has this anxiety and has this problem that he can't figure out, that he can't nail down. He doesn't know what the root of it is. And it surely can't be from him. So he's not going to blame himself for the problem. So he creates all this drama within him because he refuses to take the responsibility. While men, like I said, they are responsible. They take responsibility. They are working on their passion. But also grown men have a group of men who is their band of brothers. They have these guys who they go and they see and they talk to, they hang out with on a weekly, daily basis. And they are always pleased and happy to see them. And yes, they always return to their wife at the end of the day. But during the day, sometime in the week, they're always getting together with these other men to do essentially kind of a buddy check. They're making sure, hey, you're all right. I'm all right. We're all right. This is the problems I'm having. The guys take the negative energy. They convert it into positive energy. They share it out with the rest of the guys. The guys then take that positive energy back home. So their house and their home is full of positive energy. While boys, because they don't take responsibility, they're always just complaining about everybody else. And they're not going to a bunch of guys. They're actually going to a bunch of other women. They're talking to their mom, a bunch of mama's boys. They've got hanging around more with all the women of their family than actually going out and finding men who are outside of their family. And when they're at a family function, they're all just the boys are going to hang out in the kitchen with the women, while the men are going to go out and they're going to hang out with all the men who are out enjoying, talking with each other out in the yard. These are two huge differences. These are two big lines of demarcation. Men are men because of their actions that they take. Boys are boys also because of the actions that they refuse to take. And so when you start seeing those two differences, you can actually start looking back upon your life and going, well, no wonder my wife left me. I was being highly unproductive. I was complaining all the time about other people instead of looking at complaining about everybody's muddy feet whenever I was standing in quicksand. So when you're actually finding yourself complaining, belly aching, and grumbling about stuff, look at why you're complaining. Look at why you're unhappy. Look at what is actually creating the discontent in your life. You're actually going to see that you're probably out of integrity with being a man. You're leaning more towards being a boy, because being a boy is easy. You don't do anything. You sit back. You just kind of, while being a man means that you're actually going to take the steps needed to actually get some stuff done in your world. And so, man, decide. Do you want to be a man? Do you want to be a boy? Yeah, being a boy might be easy, but being a man is a hell of a lot more worth it. All right. So guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and make this one a fairly short one. I want to thank you very much for listening. Y'all take care. Y'all have a great rest of the day. If you had this show resonated with you in any way, please make sure you share it out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Mastodon, wherever it is you want to be. And wherever it is you reside, share this out. Hit that share button. Go to the at least copy the link and paste it into the social media site that you use. If you know of a person who is struggling with this very topic, please go ahead and hit that share button on your podcast app, and then share it to them as a text message. Just say, "Dude, this has got me thinking of you. I think this might be a solution that you're having, or maybe it's a topic that y'all talked about, and this really syncs up with what y'all talked about." You can share this out. Please share it out. Let everybody know that we have this group of men called the Relaxed Male. We're fixing to be opening up a Facebook group. If you're interested in that Facebook group, let me know. Shoot me a message over at brian@relaxedmale.com. Let me know, hey, dude, I would love to be in this Facebook group. If you're not, hey, also shoot me a message going, dude, Facebook groups suck. I don't do them. So find someplace else. I would like someplace off of Facebook. We've all got our reasons, all got our ideas, all got our thoughts, and I would love to be able to hear those. So guys, with that, I want to thank you very much for listening. Y'all take care. See you next week. Till then, bye.